and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So very warm good morning to all of you. So students, I am back with another video and the topic in this video is little bit scary. I hope you will not get afraid, you will not get scared, and I also wish that you will enjoy this video as much as possible. So before wasting any further time, let's start today's topic. Now, so I have pasted two images over here on the screen, as you can also look, students. So now while observing these images, what comes to your mind? Where are these houses located? Are these houses in a village area or in countryside or in urban area? Like if anybody stays, or if it is haunted, or if it like someone died, what are the feelings and thoughts you are getting while looking at these images? You may also pause the video and just look, and will you, if given a chance, will you visit these places, these houses, or will you refrain from visiting? Yes, so I need all of you to comment down in the chat box with your perspective answers. What are you feeling? Meanwhile, if you will be asking me personally, I would refrain from visiting these houses because I think they are very scary. Yes, houses are looking very scary. It's looking like haunted. They are looking like haunted houses because I think nobody is living in these houses. They are all alone, they are broken, okay, and we can see how bushes and shrubs and trees are growing near the houses and no one is taking care of. That means this house is vacant. Now no one is living in this house. Yes, and we cannot also see that there are any other houses or buildings nearby. So this house is located in a very secluded place, very isolated place. Now, will you be able to survive and live in an isolated place? No, we can't. So this is our topic for today. What happens when we visit a scary house? Do we get frightened? What is the saying of the author? What the author is trying to us to portray through these images, these houses basically is the theme of this poem. Now, how would you describe the shed? So now basically the title of this poem is The Shed. Now shed, we all know by the word shed means it is made up of something like a material that is made of from asbestos. Yes, asbestos, like whatever you observed in the previous images, the atmosphere of the house, the condition of the house, how are people living over there, is there any other house near to it, are there are there in the middle of the city, or is it somewhere located in the village area, and do you think it is scary or haunted house? How can you say that no one is living in that house? How can you feel that it is no one is taking care of the house? We have observed in the previous images as well that bushes and trees were growing in a very untamed manner. There was no one to take care of. Yes, so that's the reason this houses. And what else? So all these things, all these minor details will be taken into consideration whenever we are going to define anything that is related to atmosphere, surroundings, and each and everything. Fine. So let's proceed with our today's topic, that is the shed. Now shed is written by Frank Flynn. Now the author's name is Frank Flynn, and he's a very famous author who used to write such captivating stories and captivating poems that are based on social issues. These poems and these issues tell about the society, the social norms, the conditions that is happening around us. Now let's start about the poet. Now the name of the poet is Frank Flynn. He was born in 6th December 1906 in Sydney, Australia. So he's an Australian poet, and he died in 26 July 2000. So he lived for 96 years. Now the famous books which were written by Frank Flynn were The Living Heart, Northern Gateway, Rebuilding the Beacon, Point Smith, Port Essington. So these were the famous books that were written by Frank Flynn. Now let's move something else. Now about the poem The Shed. Now whenever I see a word, okay, what's that shed over there? What's that shed looking like that? So now shed, whenever I speak that word shed, it will, it will create something in your head that is raw. Yes, that is something raw, that is not, yet finished, and that is something scary, that is not, materialistic, and all these things. Now shed, why is author using shed over here? So now there is a shed in poet's garden. Now poet is telling about his own garden. Now there's a garden, and we all know in western countries and also in India we have observed, many houses that are built over a large area, large space. They have houses as well, and they have gardens. Now in gardens they have sheds created so that they can park their car, they can keep their shed tools over there, and so he is curious to find out what is inside the shed. Now there's some irony. How can we say there's an irony? The shed is there situated in the gardens, in the author's garden, but now he was curious to find out what is inside that shed. He himself is living in that place, in that home, and he is not aware of the things that are kept in his shed. This cannot be possible. So what's the actual truth? Let's find out the actual truth. Yes. So he explores his feelings about that shed and what it possibly contains. Now he is saying that what his feelings are about the shed, what are there in the shed. All these things need to be explored further. Will he able to go to the shed without being scared? Now maybe that shed is something blackish, scary in color. Maybe it must not have been opened since long. Yes, so these are the things. Now he is saying that will he be go able to the shed or not? So let's find out what the actual truth is all about. Now, what is there in the shed according to you? What can you observe in the video? What can you see that there's a shed? So according to me, if you'll ask me, I'll think that there are some pieces of wood. So I'll be also writing it down over here. Wood. Then I can see some stove. I can see some tools. What all can you observe, students? Please tell me in the chat box, because I need more and more from you all. Yes. So okay, what else can you observe? So yes, so these are the things that are there in the shed according to you. And now students, what do you think? What is the atmosphere of the shed? Is it in a very lively place? Is it situated in urban areas? Is the shed over there is it somewhere near what can we say? What do you think is like the shed is there? Like, do you think that it is somewhere near urban area? Yes, all these things will be taken into consideration. Now, so what is there in the shed according to you? Now think and answer. Frank Flynn was born on December 1906, 10th December 1916, 23 December and 10 January. So I'm pretty sure you will be say 10 January is his death date. Fine. So when was he born? 96 years before, and the correct answer is 6th December 1906. Yes. So now let's move on to the topic. Now the shed. There's a shed at the bottom of a garden with a spider's web hanging across the door. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. Well, I'm in bed. I lie and listen. I'll open that door one day. There's a dusty old window around at the side with three cracked panes of glass. I often think there's something staring at me each time that I pass. I'll peep through that window one day. Now, what the author is trying to say? First of all, students, the way I read the poem, you must also try to read in the same annotation, same rhyme and rhythm. Secondly, you must also make sure that the shed is a poem which is having no rhyming scheme. See, garden, door, wind, listen, day. The five lines, do they rhyme with each other? No, they don't. So this is having no rhyme scheme. Now here the poet is starting. The opening lines are, there's a shed. Immediately, without beating about the bush, he's starting the first line, that there's a shed at the bottom of our garden. Now he is describing that he has a garden, and in that garden there's a shed that is situated. Fine, with a spider's web hanging across the door. Now, if there is a spider's web that is hanging across the door, what does this symbolize? Actually, rather, what does it signifies? It signifies that the spider's web that is hanging across the door doesn't have a lot of people visiting. That means it was closed for a long period of time, and now nobody has got the chance to go visit and clean that spider's web. Yes, this can be one point of thinking, one perception. Second, we can say that spider's web that was hanging across the door symbolize that this area is creepy, this area is scary, it is having eerie atmosphere. Eerie, I'll write the spelling over there in the screen, E-E-R-I-E. Yes, so that shows that no one is visiting over here, no one is going, and the hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. Fine. When I'm in bed, I lie and listen. I'll open that door one day. Now the hinges. Have you ever observed whenever you try to open a door or close a door, there are something like this to which door is attached. Somewhere like this. Here nut bolts are always there. Nut bolts are filled, and there is something like this, and now door is attached to these things. Now this is a door and it is attached to these things. So there are three or two of these, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं चौखट, and now these go to and fro. They make movements whenever we try to open a door or we try to close a door. So these are known as hinges. Now hinges are made up of steel and iron. Basically they are made up of iron. Now you also know, students, after a longer period of time, when they are not in use, or when they get plenty of rain, or when they get wet from the rainy water, they get rusty, unme jung lag jata hai. Now iron is one type of thing that gets rusty very quickly and creak in the wind. Now they are hiding in the wind. When I am in bed, I lie and listen. Now author is saying, the poet is saying that whenever he is in the bed, he always used to lie and listen, that hinges are rusty and then wind is making sound. That okay, he is thinking, I will open that door one day. एक दिन तो मैं वो door को खोल के ही रहूँगा. I will see what is there. Okay, there's a dusty old window around at the side with three cracked panes of glass. Now author is trying to tell us that there is also a rusty gold old window that is around at the side. Yes, so what does this signify? What does this mean? He is saying that एक उसके साइड पे एक dusty window है, and there is having three cracked panes of glass. That means that glass is also broken. It is also not in proper condition. So panes of glass means, now if you want to ask me what are panes of glass, so these are the panes of glass, and that is also having cracks like these, okay, like these cracks, and they are also broken. I often think there's something staring at me each time I pass. Now whenever author tries to pass through that garden, to pass through that window, he often felt that each time someone was staring at him. Oh my god, now he is creating a very, dangerous situation, scary situation. Yes. Yes. So what can we analyze? What can we think? That yes, the author is trying to, make us tell that how the atmosphere was around that area, around that shed. I peeped through that window one day. Now he is determined. Now उसने एक कदम लिया. Now उसने एक फैसला लिया. Now next time whenever I'll go to that area, whenever I'll pass through that window, I will peep through that window to see what actually is there in that shed, what actually is there in the window. Now let's move forward. Now we have, yes, so now I wanted to show, basically I wanted to show you some images which are there related to the poem. Now these are hinges. Now have you understood how, where have you observed these hinges? These hinges are there, that is attached to the door. Now when you open a door and when you try to close a door, so these make movements. ये सब movement करते हैं. Fine. Cracked panes. Now cracked panes are these things. They are cracked. Yes, they are cracked panes. And thirdly, when they try to make a different noise, when you try to open a door that was not opened since such long, so what type of awaz? Coo, coo, kee. They pay something, they make such noises. Now, and what else can we observe? That whenever we try to open a door that hasn't been opened since so many days, months or years, it makes a very weird kind of noise. So all these things, now these are the weird sound that it makes. So all these things are giving us indications that what the author is trying to tell us. Is he trying to make us afraid, or what is he trying to tell us in advance? Now these are, the things that are made coo, 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 coo. Yes, so these things are made by the now. So I hope you may also analyze yourself that what type of atmosphere the poet is trying to create, so that it gives us a light that what are the things in life that we also need to experience, students. So now let's proceed further, and there's a MCQ time, so that you may also check your level of understanding till how far have you understood the things. Now the shed is located outside the village, outside the garden, at the bottom of the garden, inside the garden. Now uh, it's not inside the garden, it's not even outside the garden, outside the village, not possible. He mentioned there in second line and first line itself that it was there in the bottom of the garden. Fine. Now what does the spider's web indicate? Now what that indicate? Now you must have observed how does a spider's web look like, these, it looks like this. Yes, like this, like this, like this, like this. So what does this show actually? So according to me, this shows that the place was not even visited frequently. This shows that lack of presence of people, lack of visiting, lack of cleanliness, lack of cleaning this the area, the garden, the shed, which shows that since a long time the dust has accumulated over there, and now this spider web is created. Fine. So this is what the actual meaning of spider web indicate. Now, let's come to word exposition. Now, here we have three words. We have meaning, sentences, and pronunciation for them. So, let's first create meaning and sentences, and then we'll start with the pronunciation drill. Now, the word is creek. Now, let's pronounce first. Okay, we shall do in this way. Cree and uh, uh, uh. So it's creek, creek, creek. We not say creek. See, K is not surround. K is not there extended so much. So creek, 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 creek. Now cree should be pronounced very clearly by opening your mouth and your upper, upper this thing. Creek, creek, creek. K will come, but not full K will not be done pronounced. Second is peep, peep, peep. Now P, the first P बहुत लंबा हम खींचेंगे, but the last P will not be as elongated as the first P. So peep, 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 peep. See, peep. And the third word is stay, ring, go. Now let's divide it into three. Now we, how many syllables we have? We have first syllable, we have second, and we have third. Now it's stay, sta, star बोलते हैं हम लोग इसको. Now if we see it individual wise, then it's star, it's rin, rin, and g. So but we pronounce, when we pronounce it in the flow, it's staring, staring. Starring नहीं होता है, it's staring, staring. And n के बाद that g will be very small. Staring. Yes. Now let's come back to meanings. Now creak means is a noise that is made by chairs, doors, and windows. Now let's make some meaningful sentences with creaks. So for example, let's start the village, or let's say my wooden chair is making creaky noises. Yes. And second thing is peep. Now peep is to see something, okay, to find something. So I write it over here, see or find. Now peep means to see or find something. So what sentence can we make with peep? Now okay, my brother was peeping through the door. Okay, the postman was peeping through the window because he wanted to deliver some letters. Or okay, or when I was learning dance, my father was peeping through the window to see how am I dancing. Fine. Now staring, staring. Now staring means to stare, to watch someone. You know, continuously, if you're watching someone with your eyes, you're watching someone continuously without any, you know, distance or disturbance. So that is known as staring. Now how can we pronounce them? It's okay, well, how can we make sentences? Okay, Radha was eating an ice cream while Raju was staring at her. Okay, I wore a pink dress on my birthday and everyone started staring at me. Fine. I hope this is clear to you students. So I hope there is no doubt. So we shall proceed further. Let's continue. Now this stanza, this expert is the end. Now my brother says there's a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floodboards, and if I dare to set foot aside, he'll jump out and chop my head. But I'll take a peek one day. I know that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone starting or making strange noises. And the spider has been gone from his web since I did not know when. I'll go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. Finish. The poem is now coming to an end. Now let's see one by one what these lines have to tell me. Now my brother says, brother is the second character which is brought into this poem by Frank Flynn. Now what his brother is trying to tell him, that there's a ghost in the shed. Now wo jo shed is, that shed in the garden, there's a ghost. I don't know if it's for real or if it's fake, but there's a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floodboards. Now there is something which is rotten, just sad jana hai. Now rotten, other word for rotten is decay. Who hides under the rotten floodboards. Now floodboards are boards that compose of a floor. And if I ever dare to set foot aside, अगर मैं एक बार भी हिम्मत करके, dare is to gather some himmat, something very courage. You need to have courage, and then you set foot inside means अगर मैंने हिम्मत करके उसके अंदर पैर रखा, he'll jump out and chop my head. He'll immediately jump out from those rotten floodboards and he will chop my head. Chop my head means cut his head. But I'll take a peek one day. Now author is saying this line that he will take peek. मतलब एक ना एक बार तो मैं देखूंगा कि हो क्या रहा है उस शेड के अंदर. Is what my brother is saying so far about the ghost, is it true or is it false? Fine. My brother says there's a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floodbirds. And if I ever dare to set foot aside, he'll jump out and chop my head. Now, everything that his younger brother or elder brother, it is not mentioned over here. Whatever his other brother is saying, it might be true, it might be false, it might be just a mere assumption. But how far is this true? There is no mention of this. So हम इसको एक dream भी बोल सकते हैं, इसको हम एक hypothesis statement भी बोल सकते हैं. But I'll take a peek one day. And because of all these stories, listening from his brother, actually going near the shed and looking it from his bed and garden, so he is now very curious. Now this is making him very, very curious to look a peek one day. I know that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises. But now author is very, very courageous person. Now what is he saying? I know, मुझे तो पता है कि वहां पे तो कोई ghost वोस्ट नहीं है. There isn't really a ghost. My brother is only saying all these things to divert my mind, because he wants to keep his shed for his den. Now he wants to keep his shed so that I may not use it, I may not enter it, and he will use this shed for his own personal purpose. I know what the real intentions of my brother are. There isn't anyone stating or starring or making any noise. I know, मेरे को अच्छे से पता कि वहां पे ऐसा कोई भी नहीं है जो वहां पे हमें देख रहा है या ऐसी ऐसी आवाजें डर के मारे निकाल रहा है. This whole story is made up by my brother because he wants to keep the shed for his den. Now similarly, a lion lives in his den, so that his den is his small house. So similarly, his brother is trying to keep the author away, so that by telling him horror stories, so that he doesn't visit that place much often. Fine. And the spider has been gone from his web since I don't know when. I'll go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. Now what the author is trying to tell us, the spider has been gone from his web. अभी spider तो है ही नहीं. I don't know when, but spider is not there. He has gone from his web. I will go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. There is definitely coming a day when I'll be visiting that shed, but not soon, but not just yet. अभी I'll not go, but I'll go. Now see what is the theme, what is the arrangement of the atmosphere. First of all, we saw that how author was trying to tell us about the garden, how it looked like, its descriptions, its features and its characteristics. Now he is telling about the stories that his brother is trying to make and create. And lastly, now we are getting to know that how these sheds are not in actual, but they are vague. It's not actual, it's just baseless because he wants to keep it for his personal purpose. Yes, so these are known as rotten floodboards that are made of wood. These are made up of wood, but they are decayed. So we can also say wood that is decayed. And peek is to see someone, jhank it, ting 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 ting, who is there, what is happening, yeah, so that is peeking. Peeping and peeing are two different things. Peeing means you are seeing something, but peeking means story chupe, you are trying to search something. Now let's move forward, and there's a recapitulation time, but before, let me ask you one simple question and answer, so that you'll also make your concepts clear, and if you are choosing the wrong option, so that we will discuss that what the correct answer is and how it is the correct answer. The warning of the brother is he will be chased by dragon. Is the poet, is there any mention of the word dragon? पहले ही wrong हो गया. He will get hurt. Is he telling you will get hurt? He will soon die. Is there anything that is discussing about death? Okay, but yes, we remember he talked about ghost, and that ghost will chop his head. So I think this is the correct answer. Tell me, students, what do you think? Is this the correct answer? Yes, so this is the correct answer. Fine. Now I hope you must have understood what the answer was and how to find the correct answer. Thinking whenever we are studying, try to keep all those things in mind in your own simple version. Then only you will be clear with the concept. Fine. Now let's okay. Let's recapitulate. Now, homework part. Given are some below words that are used from the poem. You need to choose their antonyms. And secondly, who scares mostly in your family? Describe a fear in this paragraph. Now, most of you will tell me my father is the most scariest person because he scolds me, and he always scolds me for not studying, for not doing the work, for not completing homework on time, or maybe he'll show me his huge eyes and I get scared easily. So different people will have different parents or someone from the family who they get scared easily, who can scare them easily. Someone will say grandparents, someone will say no, it's the mother, and no, it's my paternal uncle or maternal uncle, whosoever it is. You need to mention in the paragraph how how are they building fear in you and how they make you fearful. Okay, and you need to also complete these some words from, you need to choose their antonyms. Now antonyms are words that are opposite, that are not similar. Similar are synonyms and antonyms are opposites. Yes, so I hope you enjoyed this poem a lot. It has also given you idea what is the nature of the poet, what the poet is trying to convey, what atmosphere is he creating so that we feel scared, and now how he's just bringing his brother into the picture and how he's saying no 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 mera bhai jhoot bol raha hai, and all these things. So I hope this was a very very simple explanation of the poem. I hope you must have understood it very well and thoroughly. If you face any type of questions, please feel free to comment in the chat box and I'll be more than happy to answer. Till then, students, take care. Goodbye. Keep learning, keep studying, and keep on liking, subscribing my YouTube channel for further educational videos. Take care, students. Bye.